Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Movies for Life, and welcome to this Jaws Orca franchise series wrap up and ranking video. So in this video, this is going to wrap up my series. I've reviewed all five movies, the four Jaws movies, and Orca the Killer Whale. Those are up on my channel if you want to check out the individual reviews. But in this particular video, we're going to rank them, all five movies, and I'm just going to give my overall thoughts and summary of the entire Jaws franchise as well as Orca the Killer Whale. So, and how it all fits into the pantheon of aquatic horror movies, in my opinion. As you can see, not only am I wearing my Jaws shirt to wrap this series up, I've also got my Jaws bucket hat that I picked up a couple of years ago at a convention. So I figured I would wear that for this video, cover up the old bald spot, which is my entire head. But anyway, with that being said, yeah, let's talk about all of these five movies here. By the way, if you hear a barking dog, that's the neighbor's dog. That's all he does is bark, or she. I don't really know. Don't really care, to be honest with you, but it basically barks at every time the wind changes direction. So hopefully you don't hear too much of that. But anyway, with that being said, I think I'm going to start out by ranking the five movies, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts about the Jaws franchise mostly, and a little bit of Orca as well. So this probably isn't going to be a huge surprise as far as my ranking goes. I think it's probably going to be pretty typical of most people, but I still wanted to put it out there. So coming in at number number five, my least favorite of all five of these movies, probably not a surprise, is going to be Jaws the Revenge from 1987. As part of this three Jaws sequel DVD pack here. Yeah, let's see. Let's go that way. I don't know. Like I said in my review, I tried to like this movie several times. I just don't. It's just not a well-made movie, and it's got an idiotic premise to it. There's really not much else to say. Jaws the Revenge is definitely my least favorite of all five of these movies. And in my opinion, I think it's the worst of all five movies, at least in terms of movie making. Now, if there's people out there that like the movie and it works for them, that's great. I'm glad. I'm always glad when a horror movie or any movie can work for somebody, even if it's one that I despise and it really doesn't work for me. Coming in at number four, sorry, is going to be Jaws 3, the second sequel in the Jaws franchise. The Jaws 3 is a movie that I can watch. I'm not going to say that I like it. As I said in my review, the biggest problem with this movie is they did the whole 3D gimmick with it, where I think if they would have I like the idea that they switched it up, both the setting and sort of the idea of SeaWorld being involved and these dolphins, the communication and everything, and the shark breaking into the SeaWorld area. I like all that. Now, why they had to do it in 3D, again, it was a gimmick. They were trying to make money off of it. But I like the main characters here, as I said in my review. I don't think Jaws 3 is quite the stinker that a lot of people say it is. That being said, it's not a great movie at all. I don't even know that it's a good movie, but it is a watchable movie. And I think a decent Jaws sequel for the most part. So that's my number four. Number three is going to be the last movie on this DVD pack, and that's Jaws 2. Definitely the best Jaws sequel. I don't think that's a hot take. The problem with this movie, as I said in my review, comparing it to the first one, which you have no choice but to do, it doesn't hold up at all. It's basically a rehash of the first movie without any of the soul or any of the magic of the first movie. And that in and of itself makes it a lesser movie. But if you're just comparing this to other shark movies or other aquatic horror movies, I think it actually is pretty good. I think it does hold up pretty well with all the movies that came out after it. Of course, the script got changed, the director got changed. Roy Scheider didn't want anything to do with this movie for a long time. He had a lot of problems with it, but all in all, I think it comes out pretty well as just an overall shark movie, if you can take the original out of it, which you probably can't. But yeah, number three is going to be Jaws 2 for me. Number two is going to be Orca the Killer Whale, which I have on the Scream Factory Blu-ray here. And like I said, when I did my review for this one, this is my first time watching this movie in probably over 30 years. I remember growing up as a kid, we rented it. My family rented it on VHS back when that was a thing. Um, and I kind of remember it standing out a little bit, but I was a kid. I really didn't pay much attention to it, I don't think. But I have to say, it's pretty good. There's a lot I like about this movie. It's not a perfect movie by any means. There's definitely things about it that I don't care for. Um, but it's good. It's more good than it isn't, in my opinion. So my number two is going to be Orca the Killer Whale from 1977. But of course, if there was any suspense to this, my number one favorite movie in this series is the original Jaws. I mean, what else can you say? Just watch my review. This is a perfect movie, not just a perfect horror movie, but damn near a perfect movie in general. And it's one of my favorite all-time movies, genre aside. I just think the characters are so rich and interesting. The fact that the shark didn't work and they didn't show much of it really works to the movie's benefit, as I said in my review. There's really not much else I can say about it. This is the quintessential shark movie, the quintessential aquatic horror movie, one of the quintessential movies, period, for me. So Jaws from 1975 by Steven Spielberg, number one by far. So with that being said, that's my ranking. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about just the overall franchise and my thoughts. So talking about Jaws, first of all, the franchise, I think that the original Jaws movie, despite the fact that I like and can watch Jaws 2 and 3, a couple of the sequels, I don't think this was a movie that ever needed a sequel. I think that they were clearly just it was a money grab, all of these. As most franchises are, inside of horror and out. A lot of it is just to try to capitalize on the success of the previous movie and make money off of it for the studios. But I don't think any of the Jaws sequels ever came close to capturing the magic of that original movie. And there's just some movies that I can think of right off the top of my head. The Ring comes to mind. The original Jaws comes to mind. Even Jurassic Park. These are movies that never needed a sequel. They don't really add much. They're either rehashes or just really bad gimmicks or just really bad movies and ideas in the case of Jaws the Revenge. So that's my overall takeaway is I don't think they ever needed a sequel. That being said, I will watch Jaws 2 and 3 on occasion. Probably never Jaws the Revenge again if I can help it. Unless I want to watch just so bad it's good with a group of friends just to laugh at how bad it is. But even then, I think there's other movies I would rather watch even in that regard. But yeah, overall, I'm not going to say I like the Jaws franchise, but I really love the first movie, and I respect and can rewatch Jaws 2 and 3. That's the biggest takeaway there. As far as Orca the Killer Whale goes, I think this is a pretty good aquatic horror movie. That was clearly trying to capitalize on the success of the original Jaws. That's why it came out 2 years later. I don't think it's a Jaws ripoff. As I said in my review, I really don't understand that line of thinking. Because it does something totally different by using a different creature, first of all. A creature that's much more intelligent, much more on a human level. The fact that it's a mammal and, to begin with, sort of puts it in a different category. But I think they do a good job with Orca the Killer Whale. And like I said in my review, I wanted more from the third act, and it's definitely not a perfect movie, but it is a good aquatic horror movie, creature feature in the water kind of movie. And I think this one and Jaws 2, if you take the original Jaws out of it, I think these are two of the top 5 non-original Jaws shark and aquatic horror movies. They're two of the top 5, I would say, of all time as far as those type of movies go. Again, with taking Jaws out of it. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts. I don't really have too much more to say. I said most of it in my individual reviews, so this is only going to be about a 10 or 11 minute wrap up and ranking video. It's pretty cut and dry for me as far as these 5 movies go, as you can tell. But anyway, go ahead and comment down below what your guys' ranking of these 5 movies are. If it differs a lot from mine, if you have different thoughts about any of these movies, I'd be interested in hearing them down below in the comments. Please like this video, hit the little notification bell, and subscribe to my channel if you're already not a subscriber. I got a lot of good horror content coming up here over the rest of this year and beyond. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this Jaws Orca franchise series as much as I enjoyed rewatching these movies for the most part, and reviewing and ranking them. I hope you enjoyed it equally as much. But stay tuned for my next series, which will be an ongoing series on my channel here, starting in July, a couple days away. I'll have a video to reintroduce that here in a day or so. But with all that being said, hope everybody's having a good summer so far. Um, I definitely, if I had a recommendation, Jaws from 1975, Jaws 2 from 1978, Orca the Killer Whale from 1977, and I would say Jaws 3 from 1983. As long as you can either ignore the 3D gimmick that doesn't work if you're watching it in 2D, or you actually have a 3D DVD and Blu-ray player. So those are my recommendations. But with all that being said, again, thank you for watching. Hope you're doing well, and as always, stay scared. Bye.